A baked potato fresh from the oven is warm, fluffy, and comforting. Take a bite, and it's pleasant enough. Now place a small piece of butter on top and watch it slowly melt into every crack. Take another bite. Suddenly the potato feels richer, smoother, almost sweeter. The potato hasn't changed. The butter has changed the way you experience it. That simple transformation reveals one of the greatest secrets in cooking. Fat doesn't just add richness, it changes flavor itself. For thousands of years, cooks have relied on fats without knowing the science behind them. Olive oil around the Mediterranean. Butter across Northern Europe. Ghee in India. Sesame oil throughout East Asia. Beef tallow, duck fat, lard, coconut milk. Different cultures chose different fats, yet they all discovered the same truth. Food cooked with the right fat simply tasted better. It's tempting to think that fat tastes wonderful on its own. Sometimes it does. But much of its magic comes from what it carries rather than what it contributes. Many of the molecules responsible for the aromas of herbs, spices, garlic, and roasted vegetables dissolve far more easily in fat than in water. Without fat, many of those flavors never fully reach your senses. Imagine adding paprika to a pot of simmering water. The color spreads, but the aroma stays surprisingly quiet. Now sprinkle that same paprika into warm olive oil. Within seconds, the kitchen fills with its sweet, smoky fragrance. This is why so many recipes begin by heating spices in oil. You're not just cooking them, you're unlocking them. Professional chefs have a phrase for this technique: blooming spices. Whole or ground spices are briefly heated in fat before other ingredients are added. During those few seconds, essential oils leave the spices and blend into the fat, allowing their aromas to spread evenly throughout the dish. It's one of the smallest steps in cooking, yet one of the biggest differences between a good meal and a memorable one. Fat also changes texture, and texture changes flavor. Creamy mashed potatoes feel comforting because butter coats every bite. A silky pasta sauce clings to the noodles because tiny droplets of fat are suspended throughout it. Crispy fried chicken owes much of its appeal to the contrast between crunchy skin and juicy meat. Flavor isn't only what we taste, it's what we feel. Now think about salad dressing. Pour olive oil over lettuce, and it simply sits on the leaves. Pour vinegar beside it, and the two separate almost immediately. Shake them together, however, and something new appears. Tiny droplets of oil become suspended throughout the vinegar, coating every leaf with balanced flavor. This simple mixture is called an emulsion, and it's one of the foundations of great cooking. Butter behaves differently from olive oil because it contains water as well as milk solids and fat. As butter melts, those milk solids begin to brown, producing aromas that remind us of toasted nuts and warm caramel. This transformation, known as brown butter, is proof that even fat continues changing as it cooks. Different fats tell different stories. Olive oil brings grassy, fruity notes. Butter adds sweetness and richness. Sesame oil contributes an unmistakable roasted aroma. Coconut milk delivers gentle sweetness, while duck fat creates extraordinary crispness. Choosing a cooking fat isn't simply deciding how to cook, it's deciding what kind of flavor story you want the dish to tell. This is one reason restaurant food often tastes more satisfying than homemade versions. It's not only because chefs use more butter. They also understand when to use it. A small knob whisked into a sauce at the last moment creates shine, smoothness, and richness without making the dish feel greasy. Timing matters as much as quantity. There's another reason fat is so important. Many vitamins found in vegetables, including vitamins A, D, E, and K, dissolve in fat rather than water. Pair roasted carrots with olive oil or spinach with butter, and you're not only improving flavor, you may also help your body absorb more of those nutrients. Of course, more fat isn't always better. A heavy hand can overwhelm delicate ingredients and leave food feeling greasy rather than balanced. Great cooks don't aim for richness alone. They aim for harmony. Fat should support the ingredients, not bury them beneath excess. Here's a simple experiment to try at home. Roast 2 trays of vegetables. Drizzle olive oil over one tray and leave the other completely dry. Roast them side by side, then compare. The vegetables with oil will usually brown more evenly, develop deeper flavors, and feel far more satisfying. Sometimes the smallest change creates the biggest difference. Understanding fat also changes the way you think about spices. Cinnamon and butter, cumin and olive oil, mustard seeds and ghee, garlic and sesame oil, these combinations aren't traditions by accident. Across centuries and continents, cooks discovered that the right fat could carry a spice's aroma farther than water ever could. Modern science simply explains what generations of experience already knew. The next time you melt butter, drizzle olive oil, or bloom spices in a hot pan, remember that you're doing far more than adding richness. You're helping aromas escape, flavors spread, textures soften, and ingredients come together into something greater than the sum of their parts. The secret ingredient was never just fat. It was understanding what fat was doing all along.